Coming up on today's show, we'll be watching and reacting to the new trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water.
I'll be speaking to the stars of the massive film Bros.
And we'll be going through this week's big releases, including Cool Jane and Watcher. Hello and welcome to What's On at Cineworld Cinemas. I am Luke Owen.
I'm Dan Layton.
Dan, I think it's about time you and I get excited for Avatar 2.
I'm already excited for Avatar 2, to be honest with you.
Oh,
if I may.
Oh, okay.
Because they re-released Avatar
a
few weeks back, and I had never seen it. We discussed this, never saw it when it first came out because I was what? A contrarian. And so I decided to take myself off to the IMAX at Leicester Square. Full 3D, full experience. And I've now seen Avatar, and I liked it. I liked it very much. I could see the hype. It was very colourful. It was very. It was that kind of sucks you back into that era in film. That sort of late noughties, early tens kind of very earnest, very big filmmaking. I was very pleased to be there, and now I'm genuinely quite excited for the follow up.
So we've got stoked now for Avatar. I keep calling it Avatar 2, but it's not its official title. It's Avatar: The Way of Water.
The Way of Water.
So let's watch the new trailer for that now,
please.
Already very visually,
it's beautiful,
it's visually very nice,
and very blue.
And this is the sort of thing, IMAX 3D.
Dad, I know you think I'm crazy.
Never mind those big rocks.
But I feel her.
Oh, there's going to be some like parent stuff in here.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
Hear her heartbeat.
Yeah, you're going to need to brace before you go in.
It's like Thor: Love and Thunder all over.
Yeah.
So what does her heartbeat sound like?
Jake Sully.
Mighty.
Oh my gosh. It's so rich.
Yeah.
Look at that water.
It's vibrant is the word I want to use.
Yeah.
But apocalypse now, like there.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast. That's all they see.
I see you.
No humans.
No, I was just about to say, it's not about that. Oh,
hang on, maybe now.
Before your birth and after your death.
This is our home!
I need you with me. And I need you to be strong.
Also the big Free Willy moments.
I'll always be a sucker for a bow.
Well, that looks like it's going to be a theme of the movie, these strong hearts.
Yeah,
mighty
hearts.
heartbeats.
December 16th. I cannot believe that.
Do you know what? It's so funny about that trailer, and you know, it's come up at the end there. You know, it's a James Cameron movie, but because like he just doesn't make movies every year or so, he is just like he picks his spot.
Yeah,
and then just so. James Cameron is one of like I think the few directors as well that really feels like his releases are event cinema.
It is, and you see the name and you know what's coming. There's like that whole. I mean, his movies are among the most massive movies in history. The ones you've mentioned, but also Titanic. And of course the original Avatar as well. These are groundbreaking in terms of like awards, bums in seats. You're right. He is an event person, and we don't have many of those now. I think of people like Spike Lee. I think of people like Scorsese, Spielberg, but they're all kind of more prolific than James Cameron when it comes to like the the releases. So this one is a big deal, and it's been so many years in the making. And we say this every time, like Black Panther coming out in a week's time. December 16th for Avatar 2 is so close, and it feels like it's been so long in the making, but it's kind of here.
I guess it's 10 plus years, more or less, where we've been sort of sat here waiting for our return to Pandora, and it's been talked about so much to the point where, like, and I think I joked about this with the Uncharted movie as well. It's just like, I'll only believe this movie exists when I'm actually sat there seeing it.
And even then.
And even then, like, it'll be half an hour and I'll be like, this is quite an elaborate prank you're playing. But that was a really beautiful, beautiful trailer.
It is gorgeous.
It is a remarkable trailer in a way that it's not designed to be like, whoa, look at these cool things you're going to see, but to be like, you're going to get to visit this place. You're going to be here for 2 hours. In this vision, in this vista, and this sort of like beautiful gorgeousness.
That's it. It's as much about the Pandora as a character as anything else. You know, the tree, the water, the wildlife, the flora and fauna, all of it coming together and creating this beautiful vista is exactly the right word for it. And I was struck that we were struggling to see human characters, and even on that ship, they were humanoid. They didn't fully look like humans. They looked a little bit longer, which made me think they were, Na'vi of some form. What struck me when I was watching Avatar, the OG, in the IMAX the other day, was that it was very present. It was a very now film in terms of its plot, in terms of its the messages within it. And I don't know if it was quite appreciated back then or if it was considered ahead of its time, but there was a lot of stuff in it to do with climate, to do with environment, to do with native people and colonization and things like that is incredibly current. And I'm really intrigued by what this story is going to do now that those plot points, I guess, that were there baked into the original are now such a common part of our news cycle. You know, I'll be very curious to see what they do now. Yeah,
I'm so curious by the movie because I've still, like, it kind of gives you an idea of what to expect in terms of your plot and everything like that, but still very vague.
Yeah.
And so it really is just, it's kind of selling itself on its name alone, and that's sort of like the iconic nature of it being the biggest movie of all time. And here is the next chapter in that story.
And they could even just put the poster is just the face. They could just put one of the faces and you'd know exactly what it was without any words.
It's like, isn't it, the Avengers? Like, going back to what we're talking about there, like, that is, you could just put the Avengers on a poster and that is like, people are going to go flock to them, particularly when they did like Endgame and Infinity War and things like that. But that was also off the back of 20 plus movies. This is literally just one movie came out 10 years ago. And now it's just, and the director has been working on this one for 10 years, and here's the next chapter. And I think that's a really exciting prospect.
It is, and it looks to me like the story is, it's both grand in scope, in vision, but close in scale. You were talking about how, on a family level, it looks like there's going to be some family stuff in there. We're all going to find a way to relate to that in some way, I think, especially after the past couple of years. I feel like there are casual viewers who don't go to the cinema as often as they would like, who are going to make a point of getting out to see this movie, and it's going to be a cultural moment, and how all of us are going to respond to it. I'm really intrigued, not knowing a lot of what is about to come narrative-wise. That's a really curious thing.
This week's releases are Call Jane, Watcher, and One Piece Red, which is available in 2D, IMAX, and 4DX. Now, I could just talk about One Piece in a way, because I'm an anime guy, and One Piece is not one I've ever really got massively into, but I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, One Piece is the one. You should really go and check out. So I am sort of intrigued by this. However, Call Jane, I think, is probably the movie that's on everyone's lips this week. Call
Jane is a very Dan film. It's acting, it's powerful political statements, it's all of the, I like me a drama, I like me an opportunity to see some thought pieces and thought-provoking material.
And I just want to see anime in 4DX.
And you love seeing anime in 4DX. No, I didn't get the chance to see it at the film festival a couple of weeks ago, and then my friend, who was a BAFTA member, had a screening, and I couldn't go to that either. So this is a film that has been eluding me. It's Elizabeth Banks starring, Sigourney Weaver there as well. It's a great cast. It's a really interesting premise. And it's one of those things that I think it's going to be, I'm going to look for a sort of middle of the day screening to go and take the movie in, feel some things, and then go off and have a little coffee and think about it.
The cast is what really kind of draws me to this. Like you mentioned, it's Banks and it's Weaver there. Kate Mara is also in the movie as well. It just feels like it's one of those movies, you go down the list and listen to this, and it's like, oh, they're in it, they're in it, they're in it. It's a really impactful cast with a story that is very of the time. We mentioned this about Avatar, but it's very of the time, of the moment. It feels like it's a thing that people should go out to see.
Because I think the point of art and film within art is to reflect your times and to provide you with the opportunity to process and think about things and enter into a world or a viewpoint that isn't yours and challenge yourself. And I think this is going to be one of those movies. It's getting some really good reviews, and it's apparently a very engaging, very well-acted piece. And a well-acted piece is always something that I'm going to flock to.
And even though Halloween series is over, there's a little bit of, not spookiness, but certainly unnervingness with Watcher.
I feel with you, the spookiness is never too far away.
It's
quite
Halloween all
close
year
to it.
round.
There you go.
Apart from December 25th.
Yeah.
Maybe December 1st through to the 31st. I would say the only times where I'm not ooky spooky.
You go full Mariah Carey.
Yeah, 100%.
Great.
Like, you know, I take off the black dress that I'm wearing and my little witch's hat to reveal my full-on Santa outfit.
Fabulous.
Like I'm Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. I can't wait to see it. Please promise me you'll wear it on a Christmas episode.
Of course.
Thank you.
Also out this week, Black Adam in 4DX and IMAX, Pray for the Devil, Barbarian.
The Banshees of Inisherin, Lyle Crocodile, and Bros.
But Bros
Yeah?
isn't just on at the cinema.
No.
You got to sit down and talk with the stars.
I talked with the stars and I talked with the director of the film. I got a lot of insight into not just what brought this film to the screen, but also how they tick as a little pair.
But I think the most interesting thing you did with them wasn't just that you chat with them about this great movie.
Mm.
You played a fun little game with them
A fun little game.
called Mr. and Mr.
So if you were to go on a cinema date,
Yes.
who would pick the movie?
Whew.
Oh, we would both have opinions.
We
on
would
that.
definitely both have opinions
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
mean, we are actors.
Absolutely. I would say that Billy is more current with the sort of new releases.
Yeah, you might know more about old things.
Old things, yeah.
How old are we talking?
Well, I did
Grease
encourage...
2 kind of, yeah.
No. I did encourage Billy on one of our many flights. I said, you need to watch Roman Holiday.
Yeah, because we were going to Rome to do press, and I'd never seen Roman Holiday, so I watched it on the way to Rome, and the most on-the-nose viewing that has ever occurred.
And was it a good recommendation?
It was great, but it had a sad ending.
It does have a sad ending, but it's also a rom-com too.
Well, there you go.
It is,
It's, again,
yeah.
theme. Who would hog the popcorn?
Probably me.
Luke.
Yeah, I'm kind of a bit of a chow hound.
Sweet or salted?
I like it salted.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
And would that work for you? Is that okay?
Yeah, I used to love popcorn with Raisinets in it.
Oh, Raisinets.
Yeah.
I would do gummy people.
Gummy
sour
people?
Patch
Gummy
Kids.
people.
Sour Patch. Do you guys have Sour Patch
Sour
Kids
Patch
here?
Kids.
Yeah.
In your popcorn?
Mhm.
Oh.
So salted and
Salted,
sour.
yeah,
There's a whole lot
salted
going
and
on
sour,
there.
yeah.
Well, fair enough. First, I've got to respect that. So do you think there would be a second cinema date if you guys went on one?
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot.
No. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Totally.
We like
Are you
movies.
going to ask us more cinema date questions?
Yeah.
I could, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
the final one that I have really is if you could pick this movie is so original, but also is in the kind of grand tradition of rom-coms, and it points to so many of them. You know, When Harry Met Sally, you mentioned that. You've got males in there as well.
Yeah.
If you could pick a classic rom-com to sort of define each other, what would that be?
Oh boy.
I'm gonna have to go to sort of like the 1970s for Billy, and I think of the sort of Billy's very funny. He's very verbal. He sort of, I think, enjoys the back and forth conversation. So I immediately think of movies like Woody Allen. So I'm gonna say Annie Hall. I think kind of
That makes
embodies his sort of conversational, sort of dialogue-driven sort of way of being.
Yeah. God, what would Luke's rom-com be? Maybe, I know you like Pretty Woman.
I do like Pretty Woman.
Yeah, I don't know if that defines you though. Yeah. It's not a rom-com, but a movie that I thought a lot about while we were making Bros is The Way We Were.
Ah, okay.
Right? Like the young kids, I don't know if they're familiar, but there's like a Streisand-Redford dynamic that I think there are elements of in Bros. And when I think about Robert Redford's character in that, I think about Luke.
He told me very early on, he's like, you need to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had some thoughts about that,
Yeah.
which I won't share with you.
Oh.
There's also a giant Streisand poster in the movie as well, so that's themed quite nicely.
Is Billy Eichner as wonderful in person as I hope he is?
Billy Eichner was incredibly chill It was such a nice, and Luke McFarlane as well. They were both wonderful together. They seemed to be really happy together. I had a little joke with them before we started filming because they had little chocolates. I was like, "Did you make it yourself?" It's a thing from the movie. You all know if you've seen it. And but yeah, just so charming, so humble, and very excited. I think to be sharing this movie and having people come and see it. So I had a great time.
What is your pick of the week?
I'm going to go with Call Jane. I think, although honorable mention Two Bros, because I still think it's one that people can have a nice time if they go and see it.
Yeah, I think Bros is actually going to be my pick of the week. I still have not had a chance to see it yet. Apart from your recommendation, I wanted to go and see it. But also, I thought your interviews with them were so wonderful that actually made me even more excited to go and see them.
Piercing insight from me. My journalistic integrity. Unparalleled, I think.
And on Saturday the 5th of November, we have a screening of La Traviata. But that's all we've got time for on this edition of What's On at Cineworld Cinemas. You can check out all of the movies that we've discussed today using the links in the video description down below. But hey, if you enjoy these two idiots waffling back and forth, you can get more of that in the audio realm with the podcast version of this show available on all good, bad, and mediocre podcast platforms. Until then, I have been Luke Owen.
I've been Dan Layton.
And that's What's On.